I'm Brent of the Win Against All Odds podcast, here to inspire you to live life of your dreams. I have a special guest coming on today, Melina Macdonald. She's my sister from another mother, and because of all the lockdown stuff, etc., happening in Australia, she fled Australia to move to Mexico. So now she's living life on her terms with ultimate freedom. So congrats, Mel, and I look forward to having you on very soon on this live. So for me, I'm a mindset coach, a life coach, a business coach, a PJ golf professional and golf coach, and I've got about 20 tools that I use to help people change their lives, help them get out of anxiety, depression, helping them to live in the now. Anxiety and depression don't live there, and that's why I do what I do. So I love helping people. It's my why, it's my purpose. A really good book to read for those listeners out there is Simon Sinek, Starts With Why. And that's a book I recommend. If you know your why, you'll find your how, and then you can start to change your life. So just waiting for Mel to come on. Are you there, Mel? Bring them on here. All right. Can you hear?
We are live.
Yeah. Zoom wasn't working today, or Riverside, so we have to do a Facebook Live.
Nothing's working. This is called keep trying and try again until you get what you're looking for.
It's like life, isn't it, Mel?
Totally.
You know,
I mean, look, we're having to go through, but we've just spent half an hour trying to get together. So there you go.
It's all right. I got a cup of tea. It's all good. So I just said my intro. I said what I do, and I said what you did in ordering to live life on your terms, move to Mexico to get out of Australia, and all that BS, shall we say. We'll try not to swear, but if we swear, it is what it is. So this is going live. I haven't done a live like this before, so this is fun. Then we're going to talk for about an hour.
This is your first time.
Oh,
I normally like to pop people's cherries, you know that. I tend to, get people to do their first Facebook Lives and all that sort of stuff. So I love it. Now, am I tagged on this one? Probably not. That's okay.
Don't worry about it. It's recording live. It's live. Doesn't matter. Let's just
okay, cool.
Let it go.
Well, hello, everybody.
Welcome, Mel, my
friend's
sister.
Tribe.
Welcome, my sister from another mother.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, I definitely am. This is my bro. Okay, let me just plug in some power here, hun, because we've been doing this for a while. I got to get some juice happening. All right, gotcha.
Yeah, so might get some power in there as well.
Okay. Sorry, guys. Sorry, this has taken a while. We just
it is what it is.
Technology.
Yep.
It is what it is. Exactly. All right, we can cut this out later. That's all good.
No, that's all right. We just always got to leave it. So, Mel, tell us a bit about yourself.
Okay, well, I'm quite obviously a risk taker. It's definitely part of my design. Yep. I'm just the kind of person that says, all right, let's get up and go and what needs to be done. And, I like to help people completely decondition. 95% of our thoughts aren't our own, and I think a lot of people don't realize that. So for me, I've got quite excited helping people go on a journey to really discover who they are, and that includes myself. And finally, start living the life that you really desire to live. And unfortunately, a lot of people are living other people. Well, actually, pretty much, I'm going to say, sorry. Just trying to get this flat here. Everybody is living someone else's life. All right, give me 1 sec, guys. Sorry. Everything's uneven. I'm moving all my technology away, so it's just me and the mobile phone.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, guys. So for me, it's it's about. All right, that's better. Okay, so for me, it's about I've gone on a journey of really deconditioning. And it's a long process. It took us 7 years to condition, so it takes us 7 years to decondition. And, you know, really discover who you truly were born to be, because we tend to live everybody else's life. We're living, you know, our communities, it could be, you know, our parents, teachers, our friends, religion. We're living what everybody else wants us to do, but we're not necessarily, you know, living our true life. So, you know, this is what it's about, is, you know, giving people permission and getting to show them, you know, their strengths and, you know, weaknesses are strengths and strengths are weaknesses. It's all perspective. Yep. And, you know, change your perspective of life and you know, get them out of the, you know, woe is me, boo-hoo to you sort of attitude, and go, well, let's leave the luggage at the bus station and let's get to work. So, yep. Yeah. And that's how I ended up on the other side of the globe.
So if I want my freedom back, I'm going to leave, jump on a plane. And you got some exciting news this week about your mum. She's coming over.
Yeah, she's coming on over too. So it's taken her quite a while because, you know, again, it's about the stories going in their head, and she's like, oh, everything's a washing machine in here and it's going round and round in circles. And, you know, your mind's not your friend. You know, that's not necessarily, you know, the mind is, in my business, it's not the way you make decisions. You know, as I said, 95% of your thoughts aren't yours, so return a sender. So, you know, it was like, look, what, you know, for her decision-making process, it's, you know, her heart's desire. So I'm like, well, what is your heart desire? You know, and so it was about going through that process of going, all right, well, do you really desire to sell your home? And it was on the market, and it cost her a lot of money to put it on the market. It was like, no, right, well, then don't sell it. You know, do you want to stay in Melbourne, or do you want to come over here? And we just, you know, it's go through the lists, you know, that you've got talking to yourself. So finally, once she got to that, she's literally changed overnight, and is just like a bull out of a gate, and there's a total excitement because she's finally using her method of making decisions, which is quite different to my decision-making process for my design. So yeah, it's really great. It's exciting, actually.
Yeah. So for listeners out there, just basically make a decision, and is it going to be the right or wrong one? You won't know till you get there. It's like when you go to a football match. You don't know if it's going to be a good match or a bad match. You won't know till you get there. Life's a journey.
So, I like that one. That's actually a good analogy.
I like good analogies. Like when you said about people are conditioned from the ages of 0 to 7, generally from their parents. So from 0 to 7, we're not really driving the car of our life. So
no.
we need to have the steering wheel and drive our own life. And I think a lot of people, I've never been married, but I think a lot of people are probably controlled a little bit and conditioned by their wife or their husband, and, you know.
Yeah.
Together with
I've been married twice, so I can answer to that.
Yeah.
So people that know me today, they know I'm just no bullshit, straight up, to the point, rah-de-rah-de-rah. However, my first marriage, you know, my partner, he didn't like it if I wore anything too short, tight, or busty. So I never wore anything too short, tight, or busty. And I look at myself, you know, it's like I'm looking at another human, and I'm like, wow, I did that. You know, I was 19 when I got married, you know, and you should see what I used to wear back then. What I'm wearing right now in this interview, I would never have worn back then, you know. Yeah, totally. It's interesting. So, you know, it's to see how you can morph, and because in relationships, we start, as soon as we meet someone that we like, we start divorcing parts of ourselves, because we sit there and we go, I don't think that person's going to like this part about me. So you divorce, and then divorce, and we just keep divorcing parts. And this is why holiday romances work the best, because none of that shit happens, because you're like, I don't have time for this. I don't have time to divorce all these parts. So you just go in, boom, you know, hard and fast, and you actually connect deeper.
Yep.
This is why they're the ones that we never forget about. So, you know what, guys, make every relationship a holiday romance, as in go in with that same intention. But, you know, you could stretch this long term. It doesn't have to be short term, but yeah, use the same intention. It can work really well.
No, I agree, because I've been listening to it forever, the Corey Wayne relationship stuff. And basically he says, if you go on a date, have fun. And when you say the dating stuff, that's just the fun stuff.
Yeah.
So just go on a date and keep on dating. If you're with your partner forever, keep on dating her as if you just met. Have fun. Bring the fun back.
Yeah, and you know, like my suggestion, like my best dates have been on, is when I've just literally walked out the door with 10 minutes notice, you know, and I look down and I go, oh, well, this is how they're going to get me, and they get the real you. You're not spending all this time on buying it. Like, women go waste money. They get their hair done and their nails, and they're freaking buying you outfit. He's never seen your wardrobe. Why would you do that? He's never seen your shoes and your clothes other than maybe in a photo on your dating profile. So it's like, stop doing that shit. Be you. Like, go there and just be unapologetically you. And you know what? That's the person that the person ends up liking the most. You know, people right now, they're really struggling with relationships. They're struggling with a relationship with themselves, let alone with family, friends, and a lover. And, you know, it's like, man, you guys are doing this shit all wrong. You know, stop thinking about it. Just freaking do it. What if I told you all that life was done in a year? What would you do? Would you be wasting your time going, oh, I'm not sure. Or, you know, on paper, this person's not good enough. Like, really?
We're not for the perfectionists out there. Life isn't perfect. Your partner will never, ever be perfect. And I just done a podcast with a guy in Sydney, Dan. G'day, Dan. One person in the relationship, they call that the wife. That could be the husband. And we need to compromise here to meet in the middle. And
so we actually, it's interesting, we talk about the A and the H relationships, right? So most people have got the A relationship. When one person leaves, you know, it just collapses, right? That person just collapses because they're everything's about the other person. But if you have the H relationship and one person leaves, you're still quite steady on your own. So, you know, this component's quite good, you know, quite important too, you know. And this whole, you know, I'm going to say something because I came across it today. And it was like, you know, it was about the comment about changing. And it was actually a celebrity that was talking about it. It was Tom Cruise. Of all people, it was Tom Cruise. And this is many moons ago before it was completely corrupted. And he actually was talking about changing. And the people go, you know, I shouldn't have to change for anyone. It's like, why wouldn't you want to change? Because change is bettering yourself. If you don't want to change, there's something fundamentally wrong with you.
Change is growth.
Like, seriously, change is growth. Exactly.
And when
God help us, the man was right.
I love analogies. I'm going to throw them in the whole video, but you know, you got a tree, you got to put water it. That's growth. We're going to do that to ourselves, and don't always think that you're right. You might not be right, but just listen to someone else's opinion. And I think listening is key.
Ooh, which most people don't do. They don't listen. And you know who the worst people I've come across are? Coaches. They are hands down. When we've been teaching with the business course, coaches are hands down the worst people because they don't want to listen because they think they know better. And it's like, really? You started coaching so you could get to know you. Like, people studying psychology so they can work their own freaking shit out, right? So, you know, it's like, I'm not a coach. I never say I'm a coach. I'm not a coach because, you know, to me, a coach is like an accounting professor. He's never been an accountant a day in his life, but he teaches it. You know, but then you've got a mentor and you have a guide. I'm a guide. I'm going to give you tools in your tool belt for you to sort your shit out. You know, there's no such thing as healers. They're conduits. The only person who can heal you is you. And the same thing, no one knows you better than you, right? So, but the reality is that the coaches have been learning shit from all these other coaches, and then they're sitting there, got their techniques all down pat, and this is how we do things, and they're not even using their own innate gifts at all, most of them. They're just regurgitating someone else's shit. And so, you know, now we're getting to the stage. I'm just going to say it how it is, people. Yeah. So, you know, yeah. So, I mean, then you've got, you know, these coaches, and we sit there, and I remember teaching, you know, in a business course, and we had someone in there, and they were like, oh no, I know better. And I'm like, really? And every time we went to, it was sort of like give feedback to everyone and give feedback about a particular exercise we were doing, that person believed that they knew better, to the point where it's like, I don't need this. And you know what's happened? Over a year later, they've come back. In fact, even more earlier than that, they came back to ask advice of what can I do with my business and how do I do this? You know what, if you actually participated properly in the course, you actually would have had this answer, but they didn't want to do that. So, coaches don't listen because they think they know everything. But you know what? I'm going to take a little bit of information from everyone. I'm going to make a mixed salad. I'm going to take the good stuff. And I'm going to see, can someone put a different perspective on something I already know?
Yeah. That's right. Everyone hears information differently. And I'm lucky because, okay, my dad talks a lot and never stops talking. So I grew up learning how not to listen. But now I am the best listener. I hear everything and I feel everything. And that's why, well, I'm not going to don't want to use the word coach. I'm a guide to help people change their lives pretty quickly, right? And I hear every word now. So thanks, Dad, for talking heaps, because now I hear everything. Right, I learned to turn it all off. So that's one of the things I had to learn growing up. And it took me a lot of years, but I'm fine now.
It's about being present. And most people aren't, because while I'm talking, they're thinking about what can I say as a comeback instead of just listening. Do you know what I mean? Like, think of that in a conversation wise. And it's like, no, be present with what the person is saying and feel into that. And that's really important. But yeah, I mean, that's good that you can reflect back and go, oh, well, where did this habit start?
I tell you what I used to do, Mel. I'm not sure if I've ever told you this, but because my dad never stopped like a broken record, I'm just saying how it is, and my sister will say the same. I used to go and sit in the toilet and read the newspaper or read a book. That was the only place I could attempt to get some quietness. But it also still yell out to me, where are you, what's going on? And I think still to this day, it's part of the reason why I don't like being at home. I like being outside, because I just can't stand being inside because of that reason. But I know my why. I know why I do things. But
knowing your why, I think, is important. And again, this is about that growth and change. I shouldn't have to change, really, because you know what? If you were so magnificent as you think you are, then wouldn't your life be more successful? Wouldn't you be in a better relationship and have more money and have a great job and be doing everything in life that's magnificent? Maybe you're not that great.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, thanks. But it was quite funny. Like, do you channel surf on the TV? Not that I watch much TV, but I channel surfed the other day, and it was really cool. And I learned something, actually. So you learn things from everywhere. There's these two guys that probably been 35 in New Zealand that do drifting, which is like really fast cars that do burnouts and stuff, right? There was this other guy called, can't remember his name. His name was Mike, and he was about 55, and he spoke about a little bit about mental health, especially to do with men, because I think he may have worked in that. But he said, look, I've worked with this, and he said, friends and family always try to help you and diagnose and use all the technical stuff to help someone with mental health get better. But he said, what I've learned, and this really hit a light bulb for me, all you got to say to those people, what do you need? And it's like, so if someone has an issue, we'll talk about mental health for a second, just say to them, what do you need? Then they will tell you what they might need. But that was so cool, being on a masculine show, and these guys were having a laugh, having a good time. They all gelled. It was just cool. So I've learnt that. So my next time when they come, or when they talk to me, I'm just going to say, what do you need?
Oh, I did that in business. So in my early 20s, I had a wedding photography business. Yep. And we actually had the so-called competitors come up to us going, how did you guys grow so quickly? And it's like, well, what are you doing? And they're talking at them. They're going, oh, I can give you this, and I can give you that, and I can give this. I said, do you bother to ask them what they actually want? What do they need? What do they want? What do they desire? You haven't asked them. I say, how about you just stop, and ask them. And when you ask them, then you can sit there and design what you want. And that's how our business in 1 year grew from 20% we were doing our own weddings to 80% of the jobs were our own weddings.
Yep.
Because we used to get hired out by other studios. So it was about asking that question, you know, what do you need? You know, sometimes when you're around people, all they need is just for you to be there and be silent while they go through their shit. You know, that's called holding the space for the men that don't understand the women's lingo, the spiritual lingo. It's holding the space. Is just be there, be present. Don't be sitting there looking at your watch or, you know, watching the soccer in the background or something. Just be there. It's like, when is she going to finish her shit? When's she going to finish the big V, the big vent?
There is a fact that you're probably aware of, but you know, women talk twice as much as men.
Yeah, probably. Because we're taught to. You guys were taught not to communicate very well. You're taught to push that shit down because that's what being a man is. Now, don't get me wrong. We don't really want our soy boys out there. You know, like, you know, I don't mind a guy being, you know, attached to his emotions. That's fine. But when he is way more emotional than me all the time.
That's no good.
Unfortunately, look, I'm going to give something to the men. Men, you need to be around more men. That's it. Men need to be around men. It's vital that men are around men. It's vital that men are physical. If you're not physical and you're sitting on your fat ass on the couch all the time, you're not getting in the gym, wrong. Men need to burn their energy so they can sleep at night better. Men need to be around other men. Men need to do things that are masculine, you know, like, you know, the car drifting, and why not?
Why not?
If you can do that.
Yeah, I used to have cars.
You know, go do man things, you know. It's like, yes, I mean, it was one of the biggest things in my relationship was, you know, actually saying to my partner, go and, you know, go and hang out with your mates. It was like, I'm allowed to?
What? You give me a free pass?
Please? Yeah. What is with the free pass? I hear that
That's
a lot in men's circles.
Just telling you. Just telling you.
It's a thing. It's a thing. Well, that's not a good thing. Men, everyone needs to, like, you need time alone individually, just with self. You need time together, and you need time with your friends. So, you know, it's very important. And don't tell me you can't make time. Everybody can make time. If you can make time to watch the Idiot Box, you got time.
Yeah, and the man needs to step up, especially in a marriage. From what I've seen from the people I know, the man needs to speak up more. And they're scared to in front of their wife. It's like, what? Life's too short. Some are.
Well, this is about,
and some don't need to.
We're talking yesterday about, you know, the alpha and the beta. And unfortunately, majority of men are the beta males. And the women are running the show. Now, don't get me wrong. We're always going to run the house anyway. You know, we'll tell you running the house, but we really are. However, you know, it is, and also I've seen the documents. I've seen the CIA documents, which were like, we want to create the man, the woman, the son, the daughter. This is what the family unit looks like. They have been super successful. Very successful. Yep. And, you know, now it's time for that change. And do I think, you know, there needs to be balance here, but, you know, then you have that conversation about, you know, I want my equal. Good luck to you. You know, I don't want my equal.
You get bored.
I'm not a man.
No, you get bored.
I'm not interested in being with a woman. So, you know, like, why would I classify my partner as an equal? We're fundamentally different. I know my gender. I open up my pants and I look down and go, oh, yes, you know, I'm a female. You know, I got my gender down pat, peoples. Since we've got gender issues happening.
Didn't expect that one up today. Just got to check under my pants. Then I know what I am.
I'm just like flabbergasted. Okay, watching from overseas what's happening in New Zealand and Australia and these white countries blows me away. Like this whole gender thing. I would never have my child in a school right now. I just wouldn't. I would take my kid out of school, because the second you put them in the school, you go past that school gate, you've given them permission to do whatever they want to your child. And some of the education and who's teaching your kids is some messed up stuff.
Yeah, no.
You know, but to watch the whole gender issue, it's like, there's something like, so put it down if I'm wrong, guys, but 70 something genders. How? I thought there was 2.
Yeah, man and woman, that's it, done. Keep it simple, stupid. And that's what life should be. This theory. Keep it simple, stupid. The government's trying to control your mind. It's putting into fear straight up. I'm a man. I was a woman. Bang. Done. Who gives a shit? Simple.
Yep.
You're wasting energy on something that does not matter. And I went to I'm going to say it. Why did Mel, one of the main reasons why Mel went to Mexico is because she's unjabbed or not vaxxed or whatever you want to call it. I'm the same. I went to...
I've been vaccinated plenty. I'm just not doing this piece of shit.
Yeah.
You know, I am part of the control group.
Yeah. So I went to this party. I'll give you an example of an unjabbed party. So everyone who hasn't been jabbed, we're going to call it. And they titled it a flat earth party. And a few people there are asking me, do you think there's a... And I think this is weird. Do you think there's a flat earth or a round earth? And I said, I don't give a shit. I'm not here for that reason. And I'm jabbed and you're all the same as me. And that's why I'm here. And they get back. But I've just been authentic because I couldn't care less. It's not going to change my life. I'll give a shout out to Jim. G'day, Jim Boss with the Mostos. He's Greek, so that's what I call him. He said, what life is like. You have like your close friends and family, pretend you're in a movie. They're the characters in your life. And now everyone else walking in the background, they're not important in your life. She said, they're just the extras in the movie. And I think if you can drop all the extras from your life and just focus on your close-knit friends and family, and whilst I'm talking about family, I'll always say this, you don't choose your family. So if they don't serve you in a positive manner, doesn't mean you have to hang around with them. I don't. I choose my friends.
Yeah.
A good tip.
My friends are my family. I've chosen who they are, and they actually are there for me no matter what. You know, like I'm like, Brent, can you drive to my mum's house an hour and a half away and go and get this shit or sort this shit or pick up this shit or whatever, help her out? And you're like, boom, yes, all right. Okay, done. I can do it, you know, later today. And you just go and you do it. Whereas I tried to seem, you know, spoke to my family. It was like, okay, well, I'm leaving the country for good. You know, it was like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't go outside of the 10-kilometer, you know, radius. And I'm like, shit, I just did 160 kilometers today. That's interesting. And I was actually going to be near their house the next day. And I just went, mate, if that's your attitude, I'm going to go and invest time, which you cannot replace people. You cannot replace time. I'm going to invest my time with those people that I really, truly care and love. You know, don't worry about the rest of it. You know, it's interesting. And, you know, this is the great divide. We are in the middle of the great divide. People are struggling. I get messages because I specialize in relationships and stuff. I get messages all the time. And this has been a struggle because this is a struggle between friends. This is a struggle between families. We're literally I don't know a family that's not split.
Yeah.
You know, where you've got a black sheep in each family, you know, and I've got friends that, you know, have gone and done this. And am I disappointed? 150%. Because I'm like, I gave you information on a silver platter to protect you. But you wanted your me, and not the we. So you wanted to go to the theatre and you wanted to go on holidays and you wanted to go to this cafe and this concert and all this stuff. You wanted to do that. So you were willing to do no research. Someone who buys a car does more research than people that put this bloody cocktail of shit in their body, right? So am I disappointed? Yes. But, you know, like, I still love these people. I just don't invest a lot of my time with them because I've realized our values are quite different. So this is the thing, it's the values thing, and this is where the divide comes from. On the other side from over here, and I get sent messages all day, every day. That's when my phone goes on do not disturb at night time. I'm seeing people constantly sending me stuff from the media and social media and the news and this and that. I'm like, why are you still researching? Why are you still in this? You already know it's BS. And you know, this is BS. You know, this is a horror show. And you know that, you know, this is just disgusting. So why you keep going round and round and round and investing your precious time
and energy
on this stuff? You know, you're not helping you. All you're doing is you're getting yourself, it's like you're putting yourself through trauma, perpetual trauma over and over and over again, right? Now, I don't have any triggers to any of this stuff. I see shit come to me all day and I just sit there and I'm like,
I'm done. I'm done with it.
There's nothing. There is nothing from me. You know, I literally sat there yesterday morning and I watched an hour and a half interview that was horrible. It was a lady that has been sexually abused, and she was as a child, and then went into the, went into the system, and then got abused by the psychologist who's still working at Brisbane, FYI, and explained what's going on in the background of the system and how it's all connected, and how they're trafficking out kids and doing. It was just revolting. But I sat there and I was like, I already know all of this stuff, so the trigger in my body is just completely gone. If you are going to constantly keep torturing yourself, just stop. You already know the information. Why are you doing this? You've got divides in your family, and either you've done it because you're sitting there and you're doing the whole I'm right, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. Just don't invest your time with them. Just don't spend time. Why are you wasting all your energy? Spend time with your tribe. Find your new tribe. On here, you can get your own tribes, and invest your time on you right now. And I just did a post the other day about it. I'm like, everyone's going, well, what's my purpose? Your purpose is you. That is full stop. End of story. Your purpose is you. You've had 2.5 years to go quiet and go within and really look at you and open your freaking heart up a little bit.
Yeah, that's huge.
Everyone's just they're shut down. It's really quite frightening to see what's happening and to watch it from a distance, because of course we have a massive community here. Like, I walked into a new city, I knew one freaking person. So I flew all the way across the other side of the globe to a country I've never been to before. I knew one person. Yep. I can tell you right now, my phone is blown up.
Yep.
I never give out my phone number. We're all WhatsApping over here. That's how you do it over here. And I've been able to join groups of like-minded people, So I don't really invest my time with the other stuff anymore. And if I'm not posting about it, it means you shouldn't be looking at it, because my tribe's pretty big and strong. And they're like, well, we don't see you doing lives. I'm like, because I've got nothing to say. Because it's all a distraction.
Yeah.
Go inwards, go to you. And this is the whole thing, finding the real you. Are you really ready to find the real you, or do you like your bullshit story?
A lot of people are scared to find the real you.
Yeah, they are.
Fear.
They are.
Based. So it comes back to fear. Fear is fear, right? You either have fear, you don't. You or me don't have fear. I saw I guess, was it a tiger snake or a brown snake? A tiger snake when Craig and I played golf at Heritage about 3 years ago. And I saw it within 2 meters of him and within 2 meters of me. And all I said to Craig is, be quiet, pointed. And we just stayed calm within. And the smaller snakes in Australia are actually more dangerous than the big ones. And we waited 5 minutes for it to leave. Because if we didn't threaten it, it wasn't going to threaten us. And Craig and I just stayed calm. But if we shit ourselves, as Aussies call it, our body would have got tense, and the snake would have picked up on that energy and it would have attacked us.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how you got to handle life. I don't have the fear, because I've faced a lot of my fears and I know how to go the other side. And that's what I teach or guide my clients to, is how to not have that, basically.
Even I had to go have words with myself just the other week, and I went, what's going on here? there's something happening. I'm like, oh, there's a little bit of fear there. I'm like, ooh, that's dirty. Like, I want to have a shower now. Hang on a minute. And I really had to sit there and work through, what is the fear, and is this serving me? No. All right. Well, okay. So what can you do? Do you have any control over this particular issue? No, not a lot. Okay. So why are you investing so much energy and time subconsciously and consciously?
Yep.
You know, and I just went, fuck it. And I literally did the one thing I was scared to do.
Yep.
And I left where I was, right? And I flew to the other side of the country. And, you know, because I had an issue that was keeping me where I was. And I'm like, oh, this is ridiculous. Like, it was in here. The fear was in your mind's not your friend. And I'm like, well, I've got to take my own advice.
Yep.
You know, so it's, you know, look, there are some things that you know, think I have no say or I have no control. Well, you do have the say in how you react to things. You know, most people actually fear success, which is ironic, isn't it? You know, they fear things being great because they just love their bullshit story, to the point where they're like, what's my identity outside of my story? Okay, so the government is fucking you up the ass. Let's get clear, people. Yeah, they are. You know why? Because you didn't say no. And they're going to keep fucking you up the ass because you're still not saying no, right? You say no today, but you're not saying it tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day and the next day. Is, you know, consistency, you know, whereas that's not what's happening. It's like, again, it's the me, not the we, right? So, you know, and yes, I did say you need to go inwards to you, which is the me. But when we're taking our actions and thinking about things, we need to think of the collective, you know, because we're all interconnected. You, me, the jab, the unjab, we are connected, people.
Yeah.
You know? So it's, you know, people really need to start thinking about, you know, the story that they're attaching to the anger that they have. Like, I'm getting really angry messages from people, not to me, but about what's happening.
Okay.
And yeah, and it's like, well, what are you doing about it? You know, like, you keep feeding this stuff that is upsetting you. How's that working for you, mate?
Yeah, get on with your life. Do what you used to do 2 years ago and do it in a good manner. Just live your life. And yeah, I'm the same.
Yeah.
I stopped looking at all the stuff that you post in your, what's it called? Suckerville show. I don't look at that stuff anymore.
Yeah.
I just focus on what I can do. I focus on my golf coaching business and also my mindset business, coaching business, life coaching, business coaching, whatever. So I put energy into that now because Mel and I are highly intuitive, both of us, and we don't really need to read anything to know what's going on. We just sort of know innately. So I'm just not investing any time in that. And previously when I've been on dating apps, I just put on there, I will only date unvaxxed because it's a values thing, number one.
Yes.
Number two, not many people know this, and I've told people on dating apps previously that it's unsafe for an unvaxxed like myself to exchange fluids, whether that be kissing or sex. So I don't actually want it. But number one's the values, number two is the fluid thing. So not interested. And what people don't realise, if everyone in the whole world said no, wouldn't fucking be here. Because the world can't come forever. But your fear, mate.
It's frustrating, isn't it?
Needle, right? The fear made you get the needle. Whatever. I don't have fear.
No, and again, it's their story of the why they did it, you know, and they're like, I didn't really think about it. It was like, wow, you know, it's like, if you had a baby, would you just shove anything in its mouth and do anything to it? You know, it's like, and this is, you know, and I've heard the whole, but I've been vaccinated before. Yes, I got a whole goddamn manual of that shit. However, this is not the same ball game. So yes, you're right. And this is something that I've tried to pummel into people's heads and going, yeah, I think one of my memes was "fuck your own kind," but it was literal, right? So it's like, you know, because I used to go to some intimacy events, And this conversation came up not long after I came here with, a lover that I had back home.
Yep.
And he was talking about, this person was doing an intimacy event, and we're talking this is a group intimacy event, okay? And I said, well, they're going to have to change these events now and have 2 different events, one for, the jabbed and one for the purebloods. It was like, why? And I went, because a pureblood would never allow a jabbed person to touch them because we've done our homework,
Yep.
And at that stage, there was a little bit of information, and most of that for me was intuitive. And then I started finding information that had come from taking the blood of someone that was unjabbed, that had been with someone that was jabbed, and it was actually a man with a female jabbed, so the other way around.
Yep.
And so you'd think it was less likely to affect you because, obviously we've not got the sperm. If a guy was vaccinated, he ejaculates in you, that's as good as, being vaccinated, really. So, it was a whole issue for me. And, I had a personal situation happen because my partner had gone, at the time that I'd been with, had gone and got vaccinated and didn't tell me. And he told, this, and I'm like, well, when the hell did this happen? So I had to go through all these protocols and what to do and to clean my body. And that was the number one messages that was coming to me, where one of the 2 people in a relationship were going off to do it because of the no jab, no job.
And it was
just like,
come down to at the end, he did something untrusting in a way.
I don't know about you, but I know a lot of people that just walked from their job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this is, and this is what's really causing more divide. So you've got the divide in friendships.
Yep.
Oh, sorry, you can't come to our little get together because you're not vaccinated.
That only happened once. I did
I'm just like, I don't want to come anyway. And then you've got, the family divide, and then you've got the couple divide.
Yep.
And, over here we have got, I'm not even remotely exaggerating, tens of thousands of expats are here and created new communities. And we're talking people, the children, and they even come over here with some massive wad of cash. People are like, oh, I've got to have plenty of money for that. You've got to have this and that. I'm sorry, the whole globe shut down and showed you can work online. Now, can all jobs work online? I'll come to that, Sabrina. Are all jobs, can you do online? No, there are some hands-on jobs. Okay, fine. But it doesn't mean that you can't offer your services to a Western community over here. Like I met a chiropractor yesterday, and, and I was like, damn, I need an adjustment, like, what do you charge? None,
Mm-hmm.
So, you can. A lot of people come over here with bugger all. They've literally put the key in their door, locked it with all the shit in the house and left.
Yep.
This is how serious people are. And they're creating new communities, and we're here to support each other and it has been a lot of trauma for some of us. I came over here and there was a lot of trauma to come out of my body for people that have followed me and knew my story,
Yep.
of what I witnessed and experienced. I was eyeball deep in this shit. Half the people that are bitching, whining and complaining haven't seen much, whereas I was in the hospitals watching stuff, and I work with emergency services part-time, guys, so I know what's happened before and I know what's happening now, and the calls that are coming through and the bullshit that's being spun. So, to come here it is a risk. Everything in life is a risk. Putting your heart on the line is a risk.
Mm-hmm.
What's the point?
Yes.
We're here to connect. We're here to be, have relationships. We're here to take risk.
Correct.
Literally.
I remember when you were a kid. You'd ride your bike as fast as you could. You'd fall off all the friggin' time. That's life. You're gonna fall off. I've hit my head twice here going flat out. Once on the BMX track. I still remember it like yesterday. I was 11 on Pino's bike, and I went bang. And then I was riding home flat out from high school. Bang, hit my head again. It's going to happen, guys. Just get on the bike. It's forward. Bang. Ride a bike. Could be a good thing.
I know what happens when we get older. We just get so scared. There's a fear thing again. Ooh, I might fall off the bike and graze my knee. Ooh. I mean, I got a mate of mine. Okay, he'd be like late 50s, right? And he bought a unicycle, one wheel.
Oh, cool.
It's electrical.
Yep.
And this guy guns it down the road. He's got his little helmet and his camera, and off he goes down the road. And I kept laughing at him going, dude, I think you're not sure, you keep forgetting you're nearly 60, right? No, he acts like a 30-year-old. Now, he did come off the actual, he didn't see a hole coming, and he came off it. And literally, I've never laughed so hard at somebody who's sending me gross videos of his scabs where he's ripped up half his legs, and he's just like, she'll be right, darling, Scottish. And, and I just laugh because he's still got that inner, joy that we seem to have lost, and to have fun and to take risks. He's like, I'm going to get back on it again, not a problem.
Yeah.
So, yes, there are some risks in life that, maybe would be quite stupid. And I think everyone on the planet will tell you is pretty stupid. However, we're just talking normal everyday stuff. And work out, as we said, this values thing. So Sabrina did ask on here about the protocols.
Yeah.
So because it's easy access for you guys, whether you like just as a protocol anyway, because you guys obviously can't get the old IV, Mecky tin. And I'm saying things in code because we get kicked off.
Yep.
And the other hydro one, it's not as easily accessible to you guys. Mind you, soda water, it's actually got a lot of what you need. Yeah.
Yep.
The other thing that's really good, and I can't remember the technical name to it, guys, but it's like a foot bath, right? And the foot bath, you've got like some iron thing in it, and you have your feet in it for a while, and the water changes color, and it shows what toxins are being drawn out of your system.
Oh, cool.
Right? So the water, a lot of the Asians do this. So if you find an Asian massage place, a lot of them will actually have this. And so the water could go black, it could go green, it could go milky color, and that depends on what toxins are in your system. And when I'm saying toxins, we're talking like metals, heavy metals.
Yeah.
Right? 100%. Definitely do that, no matter who you are, because the spraying in the sky is actually gone into your system anyway, and you're going to have to flush it out. With the IVI stuff, if you do have your hands on some of that and you do actually need to do a protocol, I take 2 tablets for 3 days or 3 tablets for 2 days. And that we've done when we've all got sick with the, flu. It's actually quite handy for that.
Yeah, singer.
And, like Brent and I, we wear, like we've got the Orgon Effects, necklace. This is my Elite Shungite. And I've also got one of these that I've got in my house.
Yeah,
so this is all for the EMF, EMR, the Geo Cleanse.
Yeah, I got that one. Yep.
Yep. So, there's a new one on the market. So I travel everywhere with mine, and this is always on me.
Yep.
I've actually got 2. I've got a different one, another one.
Yep.
There's also, I think it's dandelion. I think is what I have, or something like that.
Yep.
Well, no, it was actually tablets that I was taking, and that's also another really good protocol to do.
I've been
the
guide, fulvic acid. I get it from Alkaline Well. G'day, Richard Ayub. I've been taking that. I've had a bit of a sore throat or bronchitis for about a month. I've taken that for 7 days, plus some colloidal silver. It's gone.
Yep.
Like, unbelievable. I was coughing for a whole...
Colloidal silver's great.
Yeah.
Great. I did that,
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I mean, you don't want to OD on the stuff, but, like I was taking like a tablespoon of that. And you know what? I'm actually at a stage now. It's been really interesting because I've been here about 10 months, and I've just changed everything. Mate, I have literally gone through everything I know, every tool I've ever used, and questioned everything. Yep. And then I've gone and looked even at, my health and whatnot. And, I used to take all these multivitamins, this, that, and I take, really high-grade stuff. None of this garbage you buy from the supermarket. It's full of fillers. And I'm not even taking much of that anymore. So I've sort of, I'm just doing things when my body asks for it. I don't eat a lot of meat, like red meat specifically, because my body doesn't process it very well. However, my body will sit there and go, "Hey, me now," and it's like a little monster. And I'm like, "Okay, guys, I need to go have meat," you know, and I'll go through my red meat, and then that's it. So I do whatever my body is asking for. So I listen to what is my body saying. If it's saying no more junk food, no more junk food, no more meat, no more meat. If it's saying give me juice, if it's saying sleep, sleep. Who cares about the freaking shopping list that you had to do?
Yeah,
Like, outsource that shit. Do it in the middle of the night online. Like, seriously, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
So Mel, now you spent some time with me a couple of years ago. You're a human design practitioner, and what I learned from that is two things mainly. Was I don't know why I know stuff, I just know, and that's innate within me. Like I watch lots of quiz shows, and most of the times I get the questions right, but have I researched that? No. And that was one thing. And number two, you mentioned it earlier, but I have to move, I have to exercise, or else I don't sleep. So that was, from memory, the two main things I learned. But it was really light bulb moment. I don't know why I know, I just know, and it's amazing just to know that, actually. So if you want to have a lot of people out there, especially Tony Robbins' world, might have heard of Myers-Briggs or a disc profiling or something along those lines. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not perfect yet, but I think they're on a conscious level, those two things. Is that right?
Yeah, so basically
Human
the
design,
the difference between all of those is very simple. When you're finding out what type you are, you're answering questions.
Yeah.
So that means that depending on the stage that you're in at that time and where you are, maybe, for example, I did the disc profile and I've done it twice, and I had quite, I had a different result.
Yep.
And I'm same with the enneagrams and the Myers-Briggs and all of that. I know I'm an ENTJ, but things had changed because of where I was. Like, I just gone and done a whole, like a business retreat and stuff like that. So when I answer questions, it came out different the second time from the first time. What I do, I don't want any of that information. I don't give a shit about your head. I don't care what you think.
Yep.
Honestly, I don't meet most of my clients. I don't need to meet you because you're in the way of you, right?
Yep.
I literally sit there and all I get is your birth information. That's it. And then I get your name as per the spelling on your birth certificate.
Yeah.
Right. Not the name that you've chosen.
Yep.
Because it holds a frequency. And then I actually get a chart and I look at that, and I can look at everything. I can look at how you care, fear, love, sexually, food, like why you might put weight on in a certain place. You can look at it for business. You just keep going down in layers and layers and layers. And so I've had times where I'm looking at someone's chart and I'm like, and it's like, so I'm going to assume that, you're not being intimate. And intuitively, I'm picking up stuff too. So it's not that I'm just doing a reading from a book, which a majority of people do. Because I've worked within the relationship industry, for over a decade, I'm bringing in other tools. So we're, doing your genius report and the liquid crystals and the gene keys and all these other tools. And I found the best of the best that is out there, and I bring it all together to sort of look at you. Every single one of you is beautiful. Every single human is different. Stop trying to be like everyone else. Everyone's different. So, it's, for some people, depending on the age, when you come to do a reading, it's just more of a confirmation on things that they sort of a feeling about themselves, and it's really like giving them permission. For other people, it is a literal freaking roadmap.
Yeah. Cool.
So it's fun. I love it.
You're bloody good at it too.
Permission.
You're bloody good at it. It's your purpose, Mel, because I loved it when you did it on me. So what it tells you, I guess, in layman's terms, it will describe the relationship. You get to know you, and you get to know how you are with a partner. And if you,
Correct. And also how your aura affects people.
pardon?
But also how your aura affects other people. Well, a lot of people are not living as per their type. So, you know, we've got 5 basic types. And it's fascinating because here I've come across 2 manifestors. So, you know, and it's fascinating. So I've got 4 in my life, 2 young ones, 2 older ones, and to see how the young ones have grabbed onto the manifesting type and the way it operates and gone with it is beautiful. And the older ones are like, and they're, you know, they're not happy. So, you know, it's, you know, basically it's about understanding how we all work together. It can help people work out how to have a team come together. You know, I always try and describe it as, you know, the manifestor is an initiator. So their job is to think and do. They're the only ones that can do this. So those coaches who are teaching you to manifest, you know, it doesn't work the same for the rest of us. Only 8% of people think and do, just saying. So, you know, they're the ones that go, I want to build this building. And then they bring in the generators and the manifesting generators, which together is 70% of the population. And they're the workers, builders, doers. We get shit done. That's me, I'm a generator, and you're a manifesting generator. So we come in and we're the physical. We have an innate energy that we need to burn every day or we don't sleep very well. You know, so then we come in and we do the building. Then you've got the projectors and, you know, their aura is very, you know, direct, more one-on-one, and they're really good supervisors. And they are, in a way, they're guides, and they're going to be the guides of the future because we are shifting. Business will not be the same anymore. KPIs will be non-existent. It's about, can you bring joy? Okay, and then that's going to be vital in business in the future. So they come in and they supervise, and then the reflectors, so the projectors like 20%, and the reflectors are 2% of the population, and they're really open, and they sort of come in and they're like the middle post, and they can communicate with the person sweeping the dirt and the architect and the CEO and the supervisors and the workers, and they feel it all, and then they can report it all back. So each one of their energies works different, and most people are running in the wrong energy. So you've got generators behaving like projectors and projectors behaving like generators, and they're wondering why I'm getting burnt out all the time. So once people learn their aura and their decision-making process, those 2 things alone will change your life. You know, and it's important. That's why I say Brent's a manifesting generator. So in lockdown, he'd be bouncing off the walls. And it's like, you know, he needs to burn this energy up.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. It was a struggle.
I've got to go and coach some golf soon. I love coaching golf. It's one of my things that I'm supposed to do. I love golf. Been playing 42 years. So if anyone wants a golf lesson in Albert Park Golf Course in Melbourne, just ring me, 0412 533 555. And if anyone wants to do a human practitioner, you finish the rest off.
Human design.
And they get in touch with you, Melina.
They can find me on Facebook, and they can just send me a message through Messenger.
Okay, sweet. I've got to run now. It's good to have you on, sister, from another mother. It's good to see you again. I'm glad you're well. I'm glad even though I missed you, you've been away for 10 months. I'm glad you did what you did, because you've got to do what you're going to do for you. And that's what a lot of other people need to do. They're going to do what they need to do for them. I've learned a lot today, especially for relationships, you know. Got to meet halfway. Got to compromise. A lot of things I've learned today. And I did read something the other day. So it's funny how you always learn. But the universe is 68%, you're probably going to correct me on this, dark energy. What does that mean, dark energy? Negativity. So that's how the universe is. And I saw that, I go, wow. So if you want to clear some of that dark or negative energy, I have a salt bath, Epsom salt bath 3 days a week. That helps to clear it, that you take off other people. And you won't even know, for the people that don't have the knowledge on what I'm talking about, you'll pick up people's energy just by being near them. I know how to block it, but you'll still pick it up just by not even talking to someone, being near their body physically. So go do that. Any one tip like that you can help people with to clear energy, Mel?
Yeah, I mean, look, I go into the ocean most days because it's the fastest way to put your feet in the water. Again, it's the salt water thing that you said. So yeah, you know, like get Epsom salts or the Himalayan pink salt's really good. You turn off the idiot box. That's a good one. You know, like you don't need that shit anymore. You know, look, some people do, you know, the Paleo Santo for the energy in the room. For me, actually, the devices I showed you guys, it works in clearing frequencies. It's everything in life is energy and frequency, and you need to learn to protect yours. You can actually visualize, you know, you're in a little bubble and just feel like you're blowing a balloon and you're blowing it out further. So you're putting a protective shield around you. Try and visualize that every now and again when you feel like you're getting sucked into other people's negative shit. All right.
Well, I've got to run. Thanks, Mel. Thanks for coming on.
Bye, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, listeners. Hope you learned something. See ya.